Ultracrafting. So here we are looking at the Ultracraft, and this is just kind of a follow-up after riding with the boys at one of the demos. We all got on the Ultracraft, and it's a super fun board. But I finally got to give it a little 1-2 against the yeah, see, this nose is taller than the tail, so I think they're kind of set up in the same place, just with the slope of the hill. But I kind of got to finally give it a 1-2 comparison, and I've never been able to do so over the years. And finally, thanks Jones for getting these out to me and letting me go take some turns on each. And I gotta say, the Ultracraft is a great board. It's not as mean and as aggressive as I thought it was compared to the Hovercraft with these 1-2, but it is a little stiffer. And it does have a little more pop, but it's also a little more unforgiving in uneven snow. Neither of them are great in uneven snow, but it's you know, a little more unforgiving, a little more for that person who wants a little more of that Hovercraft taste of the carbon flagship. You know, it's got that carbon fiber, it's got that mean kind of vibe to it, where this is still mean and carvy, but a little more flexy. And both these boards are amazing in powder. They really float well. They're not the fastest in the trees. They require a more responsive binding like the Union Atlas, or even let's say like the Union T Rise or the Now Overdrive, or something like that that's like super responsive, that really turns these boards quick. That's what they like better. And they're good in trees, but I'd probably rather be on the Hover, the flagship or the carbon flagship in the trees compared to these two. But they turn a little slower, but man, they just float. They truly are like their name. They sit on top of the snow and float. And I gotta say though, I like the Hovercraft better. And I wasn't 100% sure on that. I was like 95% sure on that. But now that I got them both out on the snow at the same time and rode them together, and rode the Yes Optimistic too, just to throw it in for good measure, because it's another board from the Nidecker group that's very similar. Yeah, the Optimistic was the fastest. Like once the side cut was engaged, it had the best like circle carves and had the tightest turns. These were better groomer from one side of the groomer to the other kind of carving. But I like the Hovercraft and the Optimistic a little better than the Ultracraft, and I think the only reason why I would get this is if you want that longevity of flex that carbon fiber gives you, and you want a little stiffer, more aggressive version of the Hovercraft. But I think this is stiff enough and aggressive enough, and I actually had more fun carving on the Hovercraft. Neither of them really let go or got washy. This got a little washy on the tail, a little more. That might have been just me. But yeah, I had I just felt more in the groove with the Hovercraft. But so there you have it. That's my little comparison and a little follow up on the Ultracraft.